1 penny into $1,000. That is the challenge that we're attempting on this channel. If you haven't seen this before, you've most likely been living under a rock for the past 5 years because there have been so many YouTubers that's tried this challenge. And as I shared in my last video, what inspired me to take on the challenge personally is that every single video I watched of someone trying to turn 1 penny into $1,000, $10,000, or even $100,000, they just all made the challenge look too easy. So I really wanted to put myself to the test and see exactly how easy it was. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Anfernee McLemore. I make videos on a whole bunch of topics, but lately they've been about how to make money online and how to grow on social media. At the end of the last part of this challenge, we ended up with $34.58. If you want to check that video out, I'll put a card up now so you can click on it and watch it before you watch this part, because you guys should know where I came from in order to get to where I am today. But to save you some time, I made $34.58 by doing online surveys. And it was on this website called Amazon Mechanical Turk. It wasn't one of those sketchy survey apps that you get paid $1 for every 2 hours per survey. Now, this is a pretty legitimate website, and it's ran by Amazon, and I can assure you that all the money that you make is legitimate in cash. It's not in gift cards or anything like that. So since the end of the last video, when I made a total of $34.58, I actually completed a few more surveys, and I'm just going to give you guys a quick update of where we are starting this challenge off today. So as I share my screen with you guys and go into Amazon Mechanical Turk, we look at my dashboard and we see that my total earnings from the time that I was doing surveys is $43.83. Now, the actual amount that I expect to receive, including all the pending hits that are not yet approved, is about $45.84. And here's where you can see my track earnings of each day I was doing surveys. So over time, I started doing less and less surveys. So that is where we're starting the day off at today, $45.84. Now, this is the point where I had to get a little bit more creative. I didn't want to keep doing the same thing because it would take me way too long to get to $1,000 just by doing online surveys. So I came up with the brilliant idea that I need to offer some kind of service to people in order to help my money grow a little bit faster. And what was that service idea that I came up with? Well, pretty simple: car wash. So here's the plan in this video. I'm going to be taking my $45, going to Walmart, getting some car washing supplies, and going around my local neighborhood trying to wash cars for about $10 per car in order to try to expedite my growth in this challenge. And I actually did something in this video that I haven't ever done on this challenge before, and that is take you guys with me in a vlogging style format. Now, I apologize in advance. I am not that good at vlogging, and this is one of my first attempts, but I think I got some cool footage and I hope you enjoy it. So let's go back in time a little bit, talk to a few days younger Anfernee, and see how this challenge started off. All right, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning right now. I didn't get a super early start to the day today because I kind of slept in and wanted to relax a little bit. But 8 o'clock, I'm out of bed, and we got about $50 to play with from our online surveys. So what I want to be doing now is heading over to my local Walmart and then buy some car cleaning supplies. I want to get some soap today, some rags, some drying towels. I don't want to spend over $20, but I think that having this sort of service would definitely get us above that $100 mark. And if we can get to $150 today, that would be great too. But for me, I'm not a very extroverted person. I don't tend to hang around large groups, so this is going to be a challenge of me personally. I think my thing is I have a fear of rejection, so if I knock on 50 homes today, I'm likely to hear 49 no's and 1 yes for this car washing part of the challenge that I'm trying to do. And for one, it's because it's late November. It's like the middle of the winter time and I'm trying to wash cars. That seems like the stupidest idea I could have came up with. But since I'm in Alabama, it's not as cold today. It's about 45 degrees right now, but around noontime when I plan on knocking on some doors, it will get up to about 70 degrees. But about to head to Walmart now, see if I can get some cheap stuff. I already picked up 2 buckets from my backyard, and I'm going to subtract that from my total, and I'm just going to try to get some soap. I'm going to use some local free water to fill up the buckets. Let's see how this part goes. So as I mentioned, I had to go get some buckets from my backyard, and I am going to subtract $5 from my overall budget because I didn't get these from a store, and now I'm off to Walmart. Now at Walmart, the first thing I did was go to the clearance aisle. I love to look at the clearance aisle to see if there's any good deals. They did have this vacuum cleaner that was about $40, and I think the regular price was almost $90. Also looked at this refrigerator, but in the end, I didn't decide to get any of the items, and I may come back here in the next part of the challenge when I start trying to resell some retail items on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Now on to the car washing part of the trip, I ended up picking up this sponge for $2.97, which honestly was a really great deal. I then picked up one of those really absorbent towels to dry the cars with. This is a wash and wax soap, which I think will be great for what I'm trying to do today. Another thing that I picked up was this scrubber, just in case there were any hard bugs on the front of the car. I wanted to make sure I was giving the people I was washing cars a really good clean and the most for the money. So once I got to the register and checked out, everything came out to be $24.02. We just left Walmart and got all of our stuff. It is still really cold. It's only about 8:15 right now. I really got up too early. So what I'm gonna do now is find a park so I can wash my buckets out, get all the dirt out of them. I should have got some bucket lids or tops for them, but hopefully they won't spill in the back of the car. And then I'm gonna drive around and try to scout some neighborhoods because I don't just wanna go to the neighborhood that I live in because they might recognize me and then want to help me out. I wanna go to some neighborhoods that are completely foreign to me and, you know, hopefully not get shot at, and we'll see how it goes. So I was off to my local park to try to find a free water fountain I can use, and there was not one anywhere. So I finally found this one little spigot, and it was completely broken. It did not work at all. So obviously I had to come up with some kind of plan B. So at this point, I'm pretty much all set in terms of getting started for the challenge. I started today with $45.48. I spent $24.02 at Walmart, and I also spent $5 on the buckets, which left me at a total of $16.48. Now, because I couldn't find any public water, I did have to go back home and use my own water, which I won't actually subtract from my budget, because for the majority of the part, I ended up using the water from the homes where I was washing the cars at, and I didn't even need to fill my buckets up myself in the first place. It really only caused a huge mess in the backseat of my car, as I forgot to get bucket lids, and every single bump I hit, and there will be a splash of water all over the seat. So that's currently drying out as we speak. But as I said, with about $16 to my name, it was time to go find some houses. Now there's another caveat to this part of the challenge as well. Because I didn't have any lids to the buckets, it was impossible for me to get on the freeway and go to some other neighborhoods. So I pretty much resorted to having to stay in my local neighborhood in order to wash cars. But thankfully we had just moved in this neighborhood about 3 to 4 months ago, so not everybody knew me or recognized me, and I still believe that that makes this part of the challenge pretty fair. And now it was pretty much on to the scary part. As I said earlier, I am not a very extroverted person. I feel pretty comfortable talking to the camera, even though I'm actually talking to a good bit of people. When I'm sitting here recording, I'm just looking at a camera lens, and it makes the whole process a little bit better. But with it being about 11 o'clock in the morning now, I finally took the steps to go knock on some doors, and my goal for the day was to wash 10 cars or make $100. I feel like if I could turn that $30 that I spent into a $100 profit, then that would be extremely successful. It will bump me over $100 for the challenge, and I'll be in pretty good standing moving into part 3 of the challenge, where we try to get above that $250 to $500 earnings mark. Okay, now it was time to get to business, and surprisingly enough, a good bit of people were willing to help me out for this challenge. So I spent the better part of my Saturday morning and afternoon washing a ton of cars. You can see this time lapse of me now. It was pretty difficult for this car in particular because I didn't have a hose, so I had to keep using my bucket to go back and rinse the car off. But all in all, it was a pretty successful day, and your boy was tired at the end of it. And then after a long day of washing cars, I'm talking about washing cars from 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m. in about 60 to 70 degree heat, your boy was extremely tired. I felt like I was going to pass out a few times, but I wanted to push through and get as many cars as possible washed for you guys. And in the end, after washing cars for about 5 hours, I washed 9 cars. I know, one short of my 10 car goal for $115. Now the reason why this is above $90 is because a few people gave me a pretty good tip, and obviously I'm extremely grateful for that. But after washing 9 cars, I physically could not feel my fingers anymore, and I just need to go home and get some R&R and get back on my feet for the next day. And with that, that brings our total up to $131.46 for part 2 of the challenge, going from 1 penny on our way to $1,000. Now the intervals that I plan on uploading updates to the challenge were $25, $100, $500, or maybe $250 and $1,000, because I don't want to make this series over 4 episodes long, because I feel like that may be a little bit too long. I know that this challenge for me is going a lot different than some other YouTubers have done it, because they've utilized drop shipping strategies, online course sales, and a lot more internet-based ways of making money. And for me personally, I'm loving the slow approach that I'm taking, because it requires almost no skills to do what I'm doing. A lot of times when they're doing this challenge and they're doing drop shipping, you have to learn how to build a website, how to create ad sets, how to appeal to the right people, and that's just not the skill set that many people are born with. So what I wanted to do up to this point in the challenge was do something that everybody can do. Everybody can take online surveys, everybody can go out and wash cars and be a service to people in order to help them out, simply because you took the initiative to go to them and put your face in front of them and ask them if they want that service. Now with about $130 in the bank for this challenge, what I plan on doing now is doing one more day of car washing before the next video, because I'm hoping that it'll boost me above that $250 earnings mark. And once we reach $250, I think that will be enough money to do some retail arbitrage, where we try to buy things on clearance and sell them on Mercari or Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something like that. I can then also start flipping electronics like PS4s and iPhones, and there's just a ton more creative ways I could do to make money. So if you made it to this point in the video, please leave a comment down below of what you want to see next in the challenge, as far as me turning this $130 into $1,000. I like to read and respond to every single comment, and it really does help my channel out if you choose to engage with it in that way. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I really appreciate if you smash the like button as well, and hit that subscribe button if you're interested in being updated as this challenge goes on. But for now, it's time for me to sit back, relax, and think of some new ways to make money, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.